With that international adoption case gone wrong, the Russian foreign minister repeated again today that possibly all Russian adoptions to the United States will be frozen. Ashley Banfield is in Shelbyville, Tennessee, the hometown of Justin Hansen. We're going to have more from her in just a bit. But first, we begin from here with what's next for the little Russian boy who's called here Artyom. Stressed, tired, but very nice. That's how Russian officials describe 7-year-old Artyom Savelyev, seen here in this Friday video obtained by ABC News. In an exclusive interview, Pavel Ashtakov, Russia's Children's Rights Commissioner, described meeting with Artyom the day after he arrived alone here in Russia.
The first day when he came to Moscow, he didn't say nothing because he was disoriented, because the mother of Tori Hansen told him that it will be a kind of trip for vacation, and he was surprised when he came to Moscow.
Now he says Artyom is okay, playing and smiling. There's no sign, Ashtakov says, of the mental instability alleged by Tori Hansen. In the note she pinned inside Artyom's pocket before sending him back to Russia alone, she also described the boy as violent, with severe psychopathic issues. Ashtakov denies this.
All medical exams was done before the adoption procedure. And Tori Hansen knew about Artyom everything.
She says she was lied to, though.
No. This is not true. How can you imagine that the 7-year-old boy can be dangerous?
He adds that psychologists who examined Artyom diagnosed no mental problems.
National.
But he says they did find something else.
There are some scares and some bodily injuries.
Scars?
Scars, yes. Here on the leg and here on the hands.
From what?
I don't know exactly, but there are some scars of 2 or 3 months old.
Did she hit him? No?
The boy did tell Ashtakov that Tori Hansen pulled his hair. Hansen and her Tennessee-based attorney declined a request by ABC for an interview. But ABC News has learned that Artyom's adoptive grandmother, Nancy Hansen, contacted a Russian lawyer via email a month before he was sent back, asking about legal options to annul the adoption.
Their relationship with the adopted boy had reached a dead end. When this woman encountered massive problems, nobody lent her a helping hand. I think this was an act of desperation by the family.
Artyom's story highlights long-standing problems between the U.S. and Russia over adoptions, especially lax standards and oversight for adoption agencies looking to make a buck. Ashtakov cites 16 cases where Russian children were killed in their adoptive American homes.
Because we have to be sure that our children, which we send to the United States of America, will be in safety conditions in the new family.
Now, several Russian families have come forward looking to adopt Artyom. That's Ashtakov's preference. And the U.S. ambassador here says that may be acceptable too.
Yeah, she's been here
but
twice
first,
now,
he wants to
Secretary of State.
investigate Artyom's case.
As soon as he sets foot on American soil, having been legally adopted, he becomes an American citizen. So he now, in Russia, maintains that American citizenship.
So right now, the United States does have some responsibility.
We have responsibilities and we have some rights, but we have no doubt that he's being well cared for right now. Our main concern is making sure that Justin Artyom is in safe hands and has a chance to put all this behind him and get on with a normal life.
Embassy officials are expected to meet with Artyom again today, and the United States is also expected to send a delegation here to begin working on that agreement over adoptions right away, perhaps as soon as this week. But for more now on from Tennessee, I want to bring in Ashley Banfield. And there's so much focus here, Ashley, on what's next for the boy, understandably. But the mother back in Tennessee could face criminal charges.
Sure, that is an option. In fact, George, ABC News has learned that there are 7 federal agents who've now arrived in this community to join this investigation. FBI members, so some fascinating information there. They join, of course, the sheriff, the local sheriff, who has plans to interview the mother and the grandmother, possibly as early as today. They have both retained counsel. The Department of Child and Family Services, George, is conducting a parallel investigation that we're told is extensive extensive. And as far as the legal exposures here, the sheriff may have said earlier that he wasn't sure if a crime was committed, but you can bet your bottom dollar that certainly they are looking at the possibility of child endangerment or endangering the welfare of a child. And then when you mentioned earlier, George, that there was this international communication with an attorney, there was also apparently international communication with a driver and a payment that was made to Russia. So that could constitute some international commerce, which could raise this to an international level with regard to charging there. There's the conspiracy as well, if potentially they decide that the mother and the grandmother acted in concert to send that boy back home to Moscow. So a lot of questions criminally, George.
Lots of possible charges. You know, you heard Mr. Oshchakov say what he's been learning about the boy. The psychologists say that they show no evidence of kind of an aggressive nature, but he also raised the possibility the RTM may have been abused, and he said from this they can tell he didn't go to school. What have you been able to learn back in Tennessee?
Well, it's been very hard, I'm going to be honest with you, to learn much of anything about this family, and I might be able to just tell you why that is. We haven't seen hide nor hair of them since this story broke. They are on a very extensive compound behind me. Acres and acres of land, several buildings that the family members all live in, as well as work in. And then look over here real quickly, a very extensive system of fencing that goes for hundreds of yards and is 6 feet tall. The neighbors say that's really unusual for these parts, and the neighbors have said that they really don't know these people well, but we did find friends who said they would never have done this. They know these people well. They would never have hurt Artyom. They would never have lifted a hand. They lavished him with toys and gifts and dental work. But we did not find neither Artyom registered for school or his nephew Logan registered for school, and have not been able to find them registered for homeschooling either.
Okay, Ashley, thanks very much. You will stay on the case from there. We'll keep watching it from here.